Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. This is virtual class of Pakistan International School, Taif. I am Ms. Bushra Tanveer. This is Pakistan Studies class for grade 8. This is our 15th video of this class. In this video, we shall read chapter number 1 from Pakistan Studies book. Dear students, after today's lesson, you will be able to understand the text given in chapter 1. You will also be able to do the short question answer from this chapter. Dear students, in our today's lesson, or in our today's lecture, we shall continue chapter 1, the ideological basis of Pakistan. The subheading which we shall study today, book page 8, Economic Deprivation of the Muslims in India. When the War of Freedom 1857 was over, the Muslims were oppressed very badly. Although the Hindus supported the Muslims in this war, but they declared that only the Muslims were responsible for all their actions in the war. Thus they acquitted themselves of any responsibility. The Muslims were the target of the wrath of the British, so they suffered a lot and faced serious consequences. The British, dominated by prejudice and enmity, dismissed all the Muslims from government job, especially from army, and shut the doors of the employment to the Muslims. Despite having the required qualification for some jobs, the Muslims were deprived of it. On the other hand, the Hindus were offered jobs even if they had less qualification as compared to Muslims. Yes, students, now the explanation of these lines. As you know that in 1857 the War of Freedom was fought on that time, and the Muslims were oppressed very badly in that war, but also the Hindus supported the Muslim in that war equally. But later on the Hindus declared that only the Muslims are responsible for all their actions in this war. So due to that, the attitude or the behavior of the British was very furious towards the Muslims, and later on Muslims faced lots of problems after the War of Independence. And what was the problems which the Muslims faced? That the Muslims were dismissed from the jobs, from the government jobs, especially from the army, and also the doors of employments were shut on the Muslims. Even the Muslims have a good or the required qualification, but the Hindus were offered jobs even if they had less qualification, and the Muslims were deprived of their properties. Their properties were snatched. Some Muslim landlord and the landowner were turned out of their lands, and their properties and the lands were allotted to the non-Muslims, and the Muslims worked on their own land just as a worker or the laborer. And this was a very serious problem, or we can say the serious consequences for the Muslims after the War of Freedom. Students, now the same subheading is continue. The business of the Muslims were ruined in order to get the support of Hindus. The British gave their special business privileges. The Hindus established monopoly in local trade. The Muslim traders suffered economic crisis. As the result of Industrial Revolution in Britain, better and cheaper products were manufactured there. These products were imported into India. It resulted in the destruction of cottage industry, which belonged to various nations of the India, including the Muslims. The cottage industry collapsed because it could not compete with the modern industry. Yes, students, now later on, what kind of situation or the problems Muslim faced? The goods produced in Britain could be imported into India, but Indian products were demanded neither in Britain nor in Europe. The export of Indian goods were affected and millions of people suffered unemployment, which included a large number of Muslims. It means that later on the cottage industry was collapsed and the lots of the Muslims have deprived from their jobs. Dear students, now the next subheading is two-nation theory, origin, evolution and explication. In the subcontinent, every individual who embraced Islam associated himself socially and politically to the Muslim society and state. Thus he would break all the previous relationships and link himself to a new social system. On this basis, with the passage of time, a separate and unique temperament of the Muslims of India formed. It was entirely different from that of the other Indian nations. This identity formed the basis of the two-nation theory. Yes, students, now we shall read over here about the two-nation theory. As I told you that here we shall discuss, or I shall explain you about the two-nation theory. What was the two-nation theory? The Hindus and the Muslim, two major nations, settled in the subcontinent, and these two nations were different from all parts of life. It means their social, religious, cultural, tradition, each and everything are different from each other. And Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was a great leader for the freedom movement who originated the two-nation theory for the Muslim of the subcontinent. Two-nation theory originated. The subheading is continue. In the perspective of subcontinent, two-nation theory means that two major nations, the Muslims and the Hindus, were settled there. The two nations were entirely different from each other in their religious ideas, the way of living and collective thinking. Their basic principles and the way of thinking, living are so different that despite living together for centuries, they couldn't intermingle with each other. The Indian Muslim fought the war of freedom on the basis of two-nation theory, and after accepting this theory as a historical fact, two separate states, Pakistan and India, came into existence. This theory is the basis of the ideology of Pakistan. Yes, students, two-nation theory means that the two major nations, Muslim and Hindus, were settled in the subcontinent, and these two nations are totally different from each other in their religious ideas, their way of living, their culture, their tradition. Each and everything is different, and they couldn't mix with each other. So Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was a person who originated the two-nation theory in the subcontinent, and he arose the Muslim for the separate state. And due to this two-nation theory, the two separate states, Pakistan and India, came into existence. Yes, students, now here we shall read about Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was the first person who used the term two-nation theory due to Hindi-Urdu controversy in Banaras in 1867. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan declared the Muslims a separate state. He convinced the government that there are at least two nations settled in the subcontinent. One of them is Muslims and the other is Hindus. Dear students, now the explanation of these lines. As I told you that Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was a great leader who played a vital role in the freedom movement of the Muslims, and due to his two-nation theory, the Muslims of the subcontinent awoke and arose, and the Muslims realized that there should be a separate state for them. They couldn't be mixed with the Hindus because their culture, their language, their religious matters or religious aspects, each and everything is different from Hindus. Now, the next passage from the same subheading about the two-nation theory, Dr. Allama Iqbal presented the idea of separate state for the Muslims. He said the Muslims would not allow that their religious, political and social rights are usurped. Therefore, he would like to see the Punjab, Northwest Frontier Province, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Sindh and Balochistan put together into a single state. Dear students, Dr. Allama Iqbal, as you know that Allama Muhammad Iqbal was a great poet and he was also called the national poet of Pakistan. Dr. Allama Iqbal also presented the idea of a separate state for the Muslims, and he arose or awoke the Muslims through his poetry. He would like to see that Punjab, Northwest Frontier Post, Sindh and Balochistan, these are now the four provinces of the Pakistan, and before the independence or the existence of Pakistan, he also would like to see all these provinces in the same place or in the same single state, and that state was called, or that state is called Pakistan. And Dr. Allama Iqbal was the first person who presented the idea of the separate state for the Muslim of the subcontinent. Dear students, now in front of your computer screen on the slide, you can see a great personality, Chaudhry Rahmat Ali. Now we shall read about Chaudhry Rahmat Ali. In January 1933, during his stay at England, Chaudhry Rahmat Ali, along with some of his friends, published a pamphlet named Now or Never. Chaudhry Rahmat Ali was of the opinion that the Muslims possesses the history of the civilization of their own, and on the basis of these two, their nationality is not Hindustani but Pakistani. He believed that the Muslims are a nation that is different from other nations living in India. Dear students, Chaudhry Rahmat Ali also the great leader, and he played a very excellent or the vital role for the movement of Pakistan, or we can say for the freedom of movement for the subcontinent, for the Muslim of the subcontinent. And Chaudhry Rahmat Ali was a person who proposed the name Pakistan for the new state of the Muslim of the subcontinent. And he was also in great favor that the Muslim must be a separate state, and he was a person who coined the name of the that state Pakistan. Dear students, now we shall study about Quaid-e-Azam. Quaid-e-Azam Rahmatullah Alayhi was a firm advocate of two-nation theory. He gave the Muslims the status of a separate nation in every respect. He said Muslims are a nation according to any definition of a nation, and they must have their homeland, their territory and their state. Dear students, I think all of you know about Quaid-e-Azam. He was a great leader, or he was the founder of Pakistan, and Quaid-e-Azam was a leader. Due to his effort, we got a separate state, and due to his struggle, we are independent. We are live in independent countries in country Pakistan now. Dear students, now the next subheading is the ideology of Pakistan and Allama Iqbal. Allama Iqbal gave the Muslims an idea of a separate state. Through his poetry, he awakened the Muslims. And also, Allama Iqbal was a person who gave the idea of a separate state for the Muslim. He was a national poet, and through his poetry, he evoked the Muslims of the subcontinent for a separate state. Allama Iqbal was a great supporter of the Hindu-Muslim unity, but later on he realized that Hindu and the Muslim can't be lived or settled in the same place. So due to that, he arose the Muslim for the separate country or separate state. Dear students, the same subheading, the ideology of Pakistan and Allama Iqbal, continue. In his famous presidential address at Allahabad in 1930, he demanded a separate state for the Muslims so that they might lead their lives in accordance with their religion and culture. He said, the formation of a consolidated Northwest Indian Muslims state appears to me to be the final destiny of Muslims, at least of the Northwest India. The life of Islam as cultural force in this living country very largely depend on its centralization in a specified territory. I therefore demand the formation of a consolidated Muslim state in the best interests of India and Islam. Yes, students, also Allama Iqbal in 1913, his address at Allahabad, he demanded a separate state for the Muslims, and he was a great supporter, and on that time, in that address, he convinced or he forced the people on that time that the Muslim wanted a separate state for their lives, and also he demanded a separate state for the Muslim of the subcontinent, because he know that he told the Muslims that I demanded the formation of a consolidated Muslim state in the best interest of India and Islam. Yes, students, now we shall see the question answer from the exercise. First one, match the column. Inauguration of State Bank 1948, establishment of Pakistan 20th century, the basis of the ideology of Pakistan, the religion of Islam, Urdu Hindi controversy, 1867, Lahore Resolution 1948. Now fill in the blanks from the exercise. The foundation of the ideology of Pakistan is the religion of Islam. Ideology is the set of political and cultural principles on which the basis of a nation or civilization is laid. Number 3. If a nation ignores its ideology, it endangers its existence. Fill in the blanks. Number 4. Ideology of Pakistan is the name of creating society based on the principles of Quran and Sunnah. Fill in the blanks. Number 5. Ideology of Pakistan is the name of the establishment of a state where the welfare of the people is considered. And fill in the blanks. Number 6. Islamic state and society is based upon consultation. Fill in the blanks. Number 7. Sense to provide security to the minorities was also included in the background of the demand for Pakistan. MCQ number 8. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was the first person who used the term ideology of Pakistan in the year 1867. MCQ number, fill in the blanks. Number 9. Allama Iqbal gave the idea of a separate state to or the Muslims in his address at Allahabad 1930. Fill in the blanks. Number 10. Quaid-e-Azam was a staunch supporter of the two-nation theory. Yes, students, these are the blank space or fill in the blanks which are given in your book exercise page number 17. Now we shall see the short question answer from the exercise. What is meant by the two-nation theory in the historical perspective of the subcontinent? In the perspective of the subcontinent, two-nation theory means that two major nations, the Muslims and the Hindus, were settled there. The two nations were entirely different from each other in their religious ideas, the way of living and collective thinking, their basic principles and the way of living are so different that despite living together for centuries, they could not intermingle with each other. The Indian Muslims fought the war of freedom on the basis of two-nation theory, and after accepting this theory as a historical fact, two separate states, Pakistan and India, came into existence. This theory is the basis of the ideology of Pakistan. Dear students, now the next short question is, when did Chaudhry Rahmat Ali propose the word Pakistan? The answer of this question is, in January 1933, during his stay at England, Chaudhry Rahmat Ali, along with some of his friends, published a pamphlet named Now or Never. It was also distributed among Indian politicians. In this pamphlet, the name of the separate state for the Muslims were proposed as Pakistan. Yes, students, now the next short question is, what did Allama Iqbal mention in his famous Allahabad address? The answer is, in his famous presidential address at Allahabad in 1930, Allama Iqbal demanded a separate state for Muslims so that they might lead their lives in accordance with their religion and culture. He said, the formation of a consolidated Northwest Indian Muslim state appears to me to be the final destiny of the Muslims, at least of the Northwest India, the life of Islam as cultural force in this living country very largely depend on its centralization in a specified territory. I therefore demand the formation of a consolidated Muslim state in the best interests of India and Muslims. India and Islam. Dear students, now the homework: learn and write match the column, fill in the blanks, and short question answers which are done today. See you in the next video. Goodbye.